No vaccine, no work, employers discuss making immunity mandatory for workers. Public opinion polls from the past couple of weeks appear to show a growing number of Americans are planning to get the coronavirus vaccine, even as Dr. Fauci hinted that the UK's decision to grant emergency approval to Pfizer's mRNA vaccine might have been somewhat rushed. With hospitalizations surging to record levels and California once again heading into lockdown, millions of Americans would probably gladly take the vaccine just to feel a sense that the pandemic is over, even though the duration of that immunity is still not very well understood, and some conspiracy-minded skeptics have raised question about the headline efficacy numbers. But as the US and UK prepare to start delivering the first jabs in a week, industries are jockeying to try and get their workers designated as essential so they can have faster access to the vaccine. For many, profits are ultimately on the line. Even though many Americans believe it's morally reprehensible to fire someone for refusing to take a vaccine, some companies and industry groups are planning to require workers to be vaccinated as a precondition for returning to work. Maybe they think taking such a public stand might help them secure supplies for their vaccines more quickly. Whatever the reason, even for white-collar workers who have been comfortably ensconced in their homes, apartments for the last 9 months, the subtext is pretty clear: no vaccine, no work. However, many corporations might soon find that their workers, not just blue-collar manufacturing workers, but white-collar office drones, too, either don't share their concerns, can't get their hands on a vaccine, or are simply skeptical of the long-term side effects and would prefer to simply wait and see. Last week, Joe Biden, who vowed during the debates to make masks mandatory nationwide, switched it up and said he wouldn't make vaccines mandatory for every, just like he wouldn't demand vaccinations be made mandatory. The UK's Boris Johnson has pledged not to mandate vaccinations, and other world leaders have as well. But let's back up for a second. Some kind of federal edict mandating vaccinations isn't the only method for coercing the entire population to accept them. Oftentimes, political leaders, for whatever their reasons, will opt instead for a more subtle approach. If those who refuse to get the vaccine can't work, can't shop, and are effectively excluded from society, then can we honestly say that vaccinations are really voluntary? And what does this mean for workers who simply find themselves shut out as the rich and connected shove their way to the front of the line? You are caused to receive a mark. In related news, Ex-Pfizer Exec demands EU halt vaccine studies over indefinite infertility and other health concerns. Former Pfizer Vice President and Scientific Director Dr. Michael Yeadon and German lung specialist and parliamentarian Dr. Wolfgang Watterg have filed an urgent application with the European Medicine Agency calling for the immediate suspension of all SARS-CoV-2 vaccine studies, particularly the BioNTech-Pfizer study on BNT162b. Yeadon and Watterg say the studies should be halted until a design study is available which addresses a host of serious safety concerns expressed by a growing body of renowned scientists who are skeptical of how quickly the vaccines are being developed, according to Germany's 2020 news. The pair also point to concerns raised in previous studies involving other coronaviruses, including the formation of so-called non-neutralizing antibodies can lead to an exaggerated immune reaction, especially when the test person is confronted with the real, wild, virus after vaccination. This so-called antibody-dependent amplification, AID, has long been known from experiments with corona vaccines in cats, for example. In the course of these studies, all cats that initially tolerated the vaccination well died after catching the wild virus. The vaccinations are expected to produce antibodies against spike proteins of SARS-CoV-2. However, spike proteins also contain syncytin homologous proteins, which are essential for the formation of the placenta in mammals such as humans. It must be absolutely ruled out that a vaccine against SARS-CoV-2 could trigger an immune reaction against SYNCYTIN1, as otherwise infertility of indefinite duration could result in vaccinated women. The mRNA vaccines from BioNTech Pfizer contain polyethylene glycol (PEG). 70% of people develop antibodies against this substance. This means that many people can develop allergic, potentially fatal reactions to the vaccination. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell so you can get notified whenever new Bible prophecy news videos are uploaded. Saudi Arabia cancels Mossad leader's visit. Saudi Arabia has abruptly cancelled the visit of an Israeli official last week, presumed to be the Mossad head. This came after Israel disclosed information about the secret meeting between Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, in the presence of U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo in Neom, less than 2 weeks ago. Yedioth Ahronoth quoted sources stating that the official, whose visit to Saudi Arabia had been cancelled, is head of Mossad Yossi Cohen, and is considered a key figure in relations between the two sides, which makes the cancellation of the invitation a very important event. The newspaper revealed that the revocation of the visit came after Netanyahu boasted about his meeting with bin Salman in Saudi Arabia, just days before the assassination of Iranian nuclear scientist Mohsen Fakhrizadeh on the 27th of November. The newspaper quoted Israeli sources claiming that the cancellation of the Israeli official's invitation was motivated by Saudi Arabia's dissatisfaction with Israel's performance, according to Arab 48. The newspaper stressed that this is not the first time that Netanyahu has divulged covert meetings and events. In recent years, he has gradually broken the secrecy protocol, which has been serving Israel for many years in holding secret foreign relations and dealing with the most sensitive security matters. Several days ago, The Economist reported a sense of satisfaction in both Riyadh and Tel Aviv after the Hebrew media leaked news about a tripartite meeting that was held furtively in the kingdom between bin Salman, Netanyahu and Pompeo. Hebrew newspaper Haaretz quoted an informed source disclosing that Cohen had also participated in the meeting. The Israeli Public Broadcasting Corporation (Khan) indicated that Netanyahu and Cohen departed on a private plane from Ben Gurion Airport, near Tel Aviv, to Neom in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Foreign Minister Faisal bin Farhan denied news about the Crown Prince's meeting with Israeli officials during Pompeo's recent visit to the kingdom, stressing that only US and Saudi officials were present at the time. In related news, Saudis demand to be consulted before Biden re-enters Iran nuclear deal. After President-elect Joe Biden told the New York Times this past week that should Iran return to compliance to the 2015 nuclear deal, particularly caps placed on enrichment, he'll return the U.S. to participation in the Obama-era agreement, the Saudis have registered their alarm. Saudi Arabia's top diplomat said Saturday that Washington must consult the kingdom and Gulf state allies before moving forward with re-entry to the JCPOA. The Sunni kingdom sees Shia Iran as its #1 threat and enemy in the region. Saudi Foreign Minister Prince Faisal bin Farhan told AFP, "Primarily what we expect is that we are fully consulted, that we and our other regional friends are fully consulted in what goes on vis-a-vis the negotiations with Iran." While Riyadh said it is ready and waiting to engage the incoming Biden administration on the issue, there's not yet been any contacts regarding the nuclear deal. We are confident that both an incoming Biden administration, but also our other partners, including the Europeans, have fully signed on to the need to have all the regional parties involved in a resolution, the Saudi FM added. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And stay tuned to Watchman Report for more Bible prophecy news.